I'm not alone.
He keeps claiming a new chapter of his life has begun, and does so for good reason. You must admit, good old Brad Pitt would have never pulled these kinds of stunts before. He shocks the public with new photo shoots, while his looks and passionate confessions are disconcerting. No one would have guessed that every night he is being chased by a maniac with a knife. Or being chased through a house with a kid I'd help escape but got pinned in on the deck and stabbed, always stabbed, and I would wake up in a terror. I didn't understand why they would want to hurt me. It turns out nightmares have been haunting him for many years. Only recently has he started writing them down and trying to comprehend what it all means. While staying in his infamous Hollywood Heights estate during the pandemic, he bought the house in 1994 when he first earned a decent amount of money. Brad does not seem to be troubled by the fact that the previous owner's friend hanged himself there in the 1960s. Instead, Pitt calls the mansion an alluring, secluded spot. In the summer of 2022, he purchased an exclusive architectural site remotely located on the cliff in California for $40 million. So what is he doing there away from prying eyes? Taking notes on his dreams, playing guitar, and sculpting candle holders. Alcoholics Anonymous helped him get over his addictions. I'm one of those creatures that speaks through art. I just want to always make. If I'm not making, I'm dying in some way. He has already mastered furniture art and does all the house maintenance and renovation works on his own. The world was able to observe his talents during the Katrina hurricane when the star personally built new homes for victims in New Orleans. In 2022, though, a lawsuit was filed against Pitt's charity project Make It Right, which built 109 houses by that time. It turned out only 6 of them were suitable for living. Brad's attorney tried to clear his name for a very long time, but in the end, he had to pay reparations of $20 million for the houses that had simply rotted away. Surprisingly, the defendants were not too upset over the delay. The guy is a legend after all.
All the ways you wish you could be, that's me. I'm not one to look back.
Brad claimed at the Oscars in 2020. However, in 2022, his award speeches entirely consist of self-reflection of the old days. It's always the case with Brad Pitt. The ins and outs of his life come to light much later, as well as the sins of his youth. I spent most of the 90s hiding out and smoking pot. I was too uncomfortable with all the attention. Then I got to a place where I was aware that I was imprisoning myself. Now I go out and live life, and generally people are pretty cool. That was how Brad Pitt went through his first movie in strides, the same way his character Floyd did in True Romance, written by Quentin Tarantino. Always holding a joint in his hand, never getting off the couch, not even once. That was Brad's idea.
You guys want to smoke a bowl or? Oh.
Today, however, he can't even recall the movie.
Do you remember what this role was?
Holy, is that me?
Apparently.
Wow. Yeah, it's me.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess so. My hair looks as bad then as it does now.
Not true.
That's amazing.
Do you remember what that role was?
Not a clue.
No idea.
Not a clue.
In the beginning of his career, Brad was pretty affable with the reporters, but over the years, he won the infamous title of being a snob.
Like one of those classical love stories, like when, I don't know, when Ross first saw Rachel. You know that show, Friends? Have you seen that?
Recently, the actor confessed the whole thing is about his self-diagnosed disease of the brain. It's called prosopagnosia or face blindness. You meet so many damn people and then you meet them again.
I don't know your name, but I remember that hair.
Pitt usually doesn't say much about his private affairs, maybe because he simply can't remember everyone involved?
I always had crushes. I had crushes. Kindergarten, first grade, second grade. I had crushes. I always had crushes.
Because you're passionate.
Because I'm addicted.
In his youth, the handsomeness also never lagged behind.
I went to 2 proms.
2 proms.
Because I was dating a beautiful young woman from the neighboring high school. So we had to hit one and then hit the other.
The movie industry only amplified his love fervor, with all his major affairs being with Hollywood actresses. On the shooting set of Seven by David Fincher, Brad called Gwyneth Paltrow the sole light beam of the movie. Later in 1996, at the Golden Globe Awards, he said,
"Especially the love of my life, my angel Gwyneth Paltrow."
At the time, the world did not know that Pitt showed his iron balls not only on the pages of Playgirl, but in the battle against one of the most influential figures in the movie industry, Harvey Weinstein. Harvey made his way to the up-and-coming starlet Gwyneth Paltrow, and Brad had to make his point very clear.
He said, if you ever make her feel uncomfortable again, I'll kill you.
Brad himself humbly comments, when it comes to offending a young lady special to his heart, he transforms from an ambitious actor to just a simple guy from Oklahoma.
That moment, you know, I was a boy from the Ozarks on the playground.
William Bradley Pitt was born in a small city in Oklahoma and grew up in Springfield, Missouri in a conservative Baptist family. Music, soccer, debate club, drama club, he easily entered the journalism department in university, but right before graduation, he gave up everything and left to conquer Hollywood. I remember this scary moment where I didn't have anything to pin my existence on, to be comforted by. At the same time, it didn't work for me, man. I had to go up against this thing. My family accepts me for who I am, and they worry for me because I'm gonna burn in an eternal pit of fire. But Brad drove trucks, gave strippers a ride home, promoted a diner wearing a chicken suit, and got by on occasional roles. Then his acting career finally began to take off when he was 28 years old.
Ladies, gentlemen, let's see who wins the prize for keeping their cool. Simon says, everybody down on the floor.
To get rid of the $6,000 orgasm nickname, which stuck to him after his breakthrough in the 1991 film Thelma and Louise, Pitt took on complex roles, performing challenging tasks on his own. He dove into freezing waters and a river runs through it, climbed mountains for 7 years in Tibet, and by the mid-90s,
You went from being an actor trying to get a job to a superstar.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know when that clicked. I don't.
amid the big premieres, Pitt managed to avoid commenting on his breakup with Gwyneth Paltrow in 1997. It is his special skill. His charm and sense of humor allow him to dodge even questions asked at point blank.
Is this sounding like you?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay.
Blah, 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 blah.
His next famous girlfriend, Jennifer Aniston, in contrast, shared every little detail of their relationship. Jen is the love of my life, Pitt claimed proudly. Their wedding in Malibu was the most discussed event of 2000. Brad frankly nitpicked his wife.
She'll tell like little personal arguments that we had in the press.
Oh,
Or on
really?
shows, and she's no holds barred. She's no secrets.
From time to time, Pitt agitated the public with strong statements, saying fighting is the least thing he wants to do on the screen, and claiming he would never again agree to star in utter rubbish like the majorly expensive epic blockbuster Troy.
I should have you whipped for your impudence.
Perhaps you should fight him.
In the end, Brad Pitt refrained from the press to the point of never even reading newspapers. Coincidentally or not, the actor stopped keeping track of the publications about himself in the middle of the 2000s, when the rumors of the Hollywood it couple's separation ran wild.
I think that's the shit, man.
It was right after the shooting of Mr. and Mrs. Smith with Angelina Jolie. Pitt, however, denied it all.
We've been in it for long enough to not take it so seriously, and now we can have more of a laugh from it when we do pay attention to it.
In the fall of 2022, Jan Wenner, ex-co-founder of Rolling Stones magazine, published in his memoir that Jolie secretly leaked the info to the press on exactly where she would be strolling with the married Pitt. The public never received any official statements from either Angie or Brad. The comments are not to be ever expected.
You think this story's gonna have a happy ending?
Happy endings are just stories that haven't finished yet.
Pitt broke millions of hearts when he divorced Aniston, but just like that, a new it couple was born and Brangelina appeared. Rumors about the reason for the divorce were rife. Brad's issue with Jen seemed to be about not having any children.
You made my life miserable.
I had no idea. I'm sorry.
Well, you should be. Screw it. Bring on the yams.
While Angelina allowed Pitt to become a father 6 times. I'm satisfied with making true choices and finding the woman I love, Angie, and building a family that I love so much. In 2016, the world was shaken with the news that yet another Hollywood it couple had thrown in the towel. To this day, Brangelina's divorce is still a hot topic. Due to legal proceedings, Brad's reputation was hanging on by a thread, and many have concluded the actor's moment in the sun has come to an end. While answering a question about what he has in common with his character Cliff Booth, for which he received an Oscar, Brad said that just like him, he tried LSD and
Looked for the best in people, but was not surprised to get the worst in people.
the tremendous success occurred for Pitt smack in the middle of legal battles over their children's custody. It was also the time when allegations of alcoholism and physical abuse surfaced. The couple's former staff, however, have anonymously claimed that Pitt was an incredible father. Nevertheless, witness statements and Brad swearing off alcohol cannot change the fact that out of his 6 children, only Shiloh has expressed interest in continuing communication with their father. With a smile on his face, Pitt replies to a question about how his life has changed over the past several years.
It's gonna be all right. Just let it go.
Just let it go.
Let it go.
What Brad himself cannot let go of is the French vineyard Chateau Mirival and the 1,200-acre estate, part of which Jolie sold without informing him. Not so long ago, Pitt confessed he once spent a year there looking for hidden treasure with a metal detector, until he realized the metal detector's seller tricked him and simply told him an exciting legend. I got obsessed. Like, for a year, this was all I could think about. Just the excitement of it all. Now, 58-year-old sober Brad Pitt gets excited with sassy looks. Tabloids and haters alike always eagerly anticipate his red carpet appearances.
I heard there were some rumblings, but I really just go on my way.
His self-reflection over the years seems to yield some results for the delight of all the fans. Brad is now on good terms with his exes, Gwyneth and Jennifer, and he believes the harsh words about the latter were a shameful mistake. Jen is an amazingly loving and cheerful woman who remains my friend. It was an important relationship that I really appreciate. It was my fault that my life became boring, and I'm responsible for this. It seems even if the successful producer and actor quits making movies, fans will still have plenty to discover and discuss for years to come. Well, he assures us he is a changed man now and won't just sit idly by. What else can we expect from the new Brad Pitt? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments.